Hey everyone, Ronan back. Today we're checking out some more One OK Rock. We got a little bit of a dose of it from last week, and I've been checking out your comments, and I was told about their earlier albums had more of a rock vibe to it, and I was interested in checking that out. The song I picked for today is called Remake, apparently from 2011, over 10 years ago. So I'm sure their sound is pretty different than what I last heard, which was so I haven't really dove this far back with this band. So it's probably gonna be some old school vibe, if you will, or at least music that I probably just grew up on in general. At least whenever I was more active in the music scene. We're gonna go ahead and dive on into this.
You take me back, you show me you're the only one. Reel it away, you got me, I've got to run. You're still alive, I'm never gonna take your feeling, which just complicated.
Oh yeah, definitely stuff I grew up on. I haven't heard these riffs in a while. They just hit a little differently from back then than they do nowadays. This takes me back. Wow. That times have changed. However, that band would have been after my heart, if I had listened to this whenever this was coming out. Yeah, that song kind of when I was more predominantly in the music scene and in bands and writing music and stuff like that, this is pretty close to the type of stuff we were making, or at least me as a guitar player, the type of riffs that I was kind of making. Like, it's not exact, but because this genre, I kind of feel like this I don't know if you want to call this like an emo rock kind of thing, but in just the rock scene in general, where we were all part of genres that are kind of very closely related to each other, and writing these riffs, it kind of felt like we were all kind of racing towards finding what new riff made up of these small handful of chords, what we could be making out of it. Because it's like, okay, cool, like Paramore's doing this, and My Chemical Romance, they're doing that, and you know, who can find out the next part of that formula? Who can mess with the formula and make it a little bit different and make it more interesting? Because you can only assemble those chords kind of in so many different ways. But if you were to maybe add another guitar part on top of it, do a little harmony on top of it, you could change, you know, the whole dynamic of it. And I think that's what a lot of bands were kind of not necessarily like competing for or racing each other, but it did kind of feel like we were kind of like racing towards that. We were trying to, who could break new ground with these chords within this genre. That's why I kind of feel like this took me back, and I kind of feel a relation to this just as a songwriter, because like what they were playing there, I could probably figure that out pretty quickly. Let's give it a shot, actually. And then I don't know what they do after that. But yeah, it's a pretty common chord progression, especially in this genre. Like as they were playing it, my hands, I kind of felt were like kind of playing a little bit of the air guitar, and I was like, it's like, oh, this sounds like it would be here or there. And it was just a matter of finding like what key it was. So like, let me try to find this chorus though. Okay, so then on that last part. I actually don't know if that's what they do. Oh, they just go back into it, so. Is that how the chorus, the verse goes? So yeah, like, and I only know this because I used to play these chords all the time, so much that because like I don't know how to read music, right? So when you hit this wall and this realization of like, okay, I don't know how to read music and no one's teaching me how to read music, and I don't really have a way to find out, because I think when I was learning guitar, like seriously learning guitar and teaching myself, we didn't have internet yet. So that's about as long ago as it was. So I'm dating myself here. But so what I consciously told myself was basically, I'm going to just memorize what everything sounds like then. So I'm going to just play chords, and whatever works. And if it does, remember that. Just remember the patterns. And then eventually it starts to make sense. Even if you can't read music, you can at least kind of memorize patterns, and then memorize what those patterns sound like, so that even included me practicing chords and notes that didn't work. And sometimes even that needs repetition to get in your head, okay, this set of chords doesn't work. And so then you move on and just stick to the chords that do work. But eventually you get sick of those, and that's when your experimentation really begins. And that's really kind of how songwriting starts to form. But yeah, so yeah, this song is, I love it. I love this song just because it kind of has a nice special place in my heart. Like all the guitar tones, it's all stuff that I use basically, or something close to it. Gotta love the old Marshall stacks. And yeah, good vocalist too. Like the vocalist really carried a lot here too. Like even though the instruments like were doing their thing and doing a lot, the vocalist was all over the place. Like, building up harmonies and really coloring the song really well. And yeah, so really dug it. But cool. That's it from me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the reaction, and I'll see you next time.